do the Packers play the Bills. They play them off a bye. That happens more than once this year. Bills 3-0 the past 3 seasons after their bye. So I think they're going to come out firing. However, yeah, I'll say it right now. Like, I think the Packers keep this close. I just do. I think the Bills play bad against bad teams. And I think the Packers are a bad team. So I think 10.5 points is too much, even though it's on the road and on Sunday Night Football. I think things are finally setting in that the Packers are in trouble. And they're finally feeling like people are counting them out now that it's a 10.5 point underdog and on the book. So I think this is the type of game where the Bills might be a little flat. The Bills maybe will overlook some things, possibly. And I think the Packers, as long as they don't make self-imposed mistakes, like, I think they're good enough to keep this game relatively close. I think the Packers can move the ball against the Bills defense, even though they're like number 1 in everything. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I know you're on the other side.
Just a quick, I don't disagree with you there, Zach. My only worry is that, I shouldn't say my only worry, but a worry is that the Packers don't really play good against good teams on the road. I have to imagine that Buffalo is going to be crazy. Yeah, crazy for this game. Standalone Sunday Night Football. I bet it'd be very fun to tailgate in Buffalo. I feel like Buffalo and Packer fans get along very well. But I think Buffalo should be, because I think there's a lot of people still under the assumption that, the Packers are still a good team, whatever. They still have Aaron Rodgers. They just hit a rough patch. They can turn it around, yada, yada, yada. And I think Buffalo, I don't know why they wouldn't think like that. I don't know. But I would imagine you get Aaron Rodgers coming to town, you get the Packers coming to town, you're going to give them your best shot. I don't think this is a game where Buffalo's like, yeah, we're just better than you. We're not going to play our best football. I don't know. I just think the Packers is one of those teams that everyone wants to beat. It's everyone's Super Bowl every single year.
Yeah, everything you said, Zach, makes sense. But I think the biggest thing about this game, and it's a big thing in every game, but even more so in this game, is where this game is being played at Buffalo. In Green Bay, I would agree 100%. Buffalo, probably at this point, with the way the Packers fans have been the past 2 weeks, and I can't blame them, Buffalo probably has one of the best home field advantages in the league, especially when they get excited. I mean, that Tennessee game was insane. And so just me looking at the game, there are going to be some drops. There are going to be some mental mistakes. And do I think the Packers can overcome that with the crowd getting on them? It's a really old way of looking at it, but I just don't see a way this team can get over that, especially once the crowd starts piling on.
Okay. So, Bills last year, Steelers week 1, they lost 23-16. Jacksonville, when they were dead, 9-6. I think everyone was saying Aaron Rodgers is still the player, like still the dude. Yep. Packers are still an okay team until last week happened. And I think everyone's saying Packers are dead now. I do think the narrative finally switched. And that's the only reason why I'm like, I think the Packers are going to play out of their minds a little bit. Like, it feels like a Cardinals Thursday night game or whatever it was last year when Devontae and everybody else was out and Aaron Rodgers pulled a rabbit out of his hat. I don't think the Packers win this game. I think the Bills will wake up eventually. But, like, it wouldn't surprise me if it's like everyone's talking about the Packers need to make a move before the trade deadline and the Packers play good enough to not make that move. You know? That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that. Put that dark thought in my head now.
The one antithesis or whatever, the other side of the coin is a lot of people on Packers Twitter seem to think that's what's going to happen, and they also seem to be wrong at every turn. That's really the only thing I have to go against it, is I've seen way too many people with very bad takes that agree with that, and that's why I think it's a slippery slope. Although it makes sense.
That's fair. That's completely fair. Yeah, like truly, I have no evidence to base something on. I can't be like, this is something the Packers do well and the Packers can exploit it. It's just a gut call for me.
That's fair.
So, Yeah, like we don't need to talk about keys. I don't think we need to talk about what the Packers need to do. Like truly, it's like don't make mental mistakes and make sure Josh Allen doesn't run for 80 yards. If you can force Josh Allen to be a quarterback, then that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Not to say that he's a bad quarterback, because he's also one of the best at that as well. But my score prediction then, before we talk about trade deadline stuff, I'll go the Bills win 27-20.
Okay. I'll expand on it a little bit. I'll go 20-14. Buffalo.
I'm going to expand on it a hell of a lot. I'm going 31-13 Buffalo. I think that has helped with the late touchdown, but yeah, Buffalo scares me.
And they should. They absolutely should.
Let me ask you guys this, I guess, before before we get into trade talk and we're talking about, the Packers just not having a great year. Do you think the season's any different if Christian Watson catches that 75-yard touchdown?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Like, I think they probably win week 1. And if you get that win in the division, you start off hot.
Yep.
That's different than every other year.
Yep.
I do think so.
Something tells me if Christian Watson makes that catch, he's playing right now.
That's fair. Yeah, that's completely fair. Something also tells me if the Packers drafted George Pickens instead of Christian Watson, we'd have a winning record.
But I mean, that's just going to be such a good, or just such a spot on metaphor for the season, right? The whole offseason was who's going to play receiver, who's going to play receiver, who's going to play receiver. The very first chance we get to throw to a new receiver, he does not catch the ball, and the Packers just have a horrible season.